If you are a fan of Velomobiles and you love the retro style, then I think you will find these Velomobiles fascinating. Because they are mainly described as human-powered vehicles, you will continue to be electrically assisted. Music. Finnish-built Qlio Velomobile is like a human-powered classic car created by Finnish guitar builder and classic vehicle restorer Qlio. The Qlio takes its name from the Finnish term canary, which was used to describe Velomobiles in the 1940s. The current prototype has a 220cm wheelbase and it's 285cm long with its composite chassis and road bike wheels. The Qlio is a light machine that can be handled with ease around the city. The Velomobile is 100cm wide and has enough space for 2 people to get inside. You just have to simply open the hood and you're good to go. Qlio was designed as a commuter vehicle that can get you from point A to point B for a few miles. The first deliveries will start in April 2022. And the Velomobile comes with a $17,448 price tag. The Qlio Velo pure nostalgia. The 125 technology of the Qlio Velomobile dates back to 2020. Its outer shape could have been created in 1920. Qlio Velo. Qlio's take on the Velomobile proves that it is possible to combine future-proof mobility with a generous dose of nostalgia. Its technology was developed in 2020. But its exterior design could easily be a century older if you believe the hype. The Qlio Velomobile is more comfortable and safer than its rivals. 2 padded leather seats arranged one behind the other dominate the interior. There are also seat belts and a heater, a portable Bluetooth speaker and a rear view parking camera. The electric motor provides the pedaler with assistance for up to 120 kilometers with a maximum speed of 45 kilometers per hour. The Velomobile can be classed as a pedelec. Its makers plan to offer 4 motor options, with power of 250 to 1000 watts. The entry-level model is to cost around €5,500. Music. Northern Light Motors launches energy-saving hybrid horizontal tricycle. Like most other Velomobiles, the 428 could be described as a recumbent tricycle. That 237 places the rider within an aerodynamic body, and while almost all others incorporate a chain drivetrain, this one takes a decidedly different approach. For one thing, the 428 pedals aren't directly linked to the drive wheel. Instead, the crankset spins up a generator, which in turn charges the 48V10Ah battery that powers the rear hub motor. This series hybrid system lets riders generate and store electricity while pedaling on relatively easy terrain for later use when climbing hills or starting up from a stand. The motor is reportedly able to boost the rider's pedaling power up to a battery range of over 80 kilometers, with moderate human effort and non-aggressive driving, although upgrading to a higher capacity battery can double that figure. Some of the 428's other features include front and rear composite leaf spring suspension, cargo space sufficient for 3 to 4 bags of groceries, hydraulic disc brakes, a touchscreen interface, a removable rain shroud, plus lead head and tail lights. Optional extras include a detachable roof, turn 339 indicators, a GPS tracking module, and a rear view camera. The whole thing tips the scales at 52 kilograms. Pricing starts at a not unreasonable $34.39. Home build project. Velomobile from Lithuania, inspired by hot rods. Valdas Virketis is a Lithuanian photographer, and his home-built Velomobile inspired by hot rods comes from the land of dreams. Valdas Virketis is a Lithuanian photographer whose dream was to commute to work by bike, but be dry even in bad weather, as he didn't have enough money and space to park it. His dream had wait 10 years to come true. And his Velo really comes from the land of dreams. It's a dream come true. I've been using a bicycle as my main transport while living in the center of the city here in Lithuania. We have harsh winters up to 30 degrees below zero and during summer lots of rain. That's how I started looking for a solution to keep my head dry while pedaling. After googling some funny photos of cycles with an umbrella, I finally found actual Velomobiles existing as a perfect solution for my needs. The main goal was 450 reach to use it as my daily means of transportation. Many people have asked, when are you starting mass production? But my answer is I'm not going to do it. It's a way too difficult challenge, but I might consider building a few pre-ordered units. If someone would pay €15,000, I see it not as traditional Velomobile. It's not only practical, but it's an art piece too, which leaves weight and aerodynamics as a smaller priority. Stefan Guillau's Velomobile from the French city of Vannes. HappyRide subtle between an old car and a Velomobile new virtual machine for Baroque lovers. The HappyRide runs more electrically than with muscle power, but it's pretty, and of course, the artist promises affordable costs. and a self-built version for less money. The propulsion is done with pedals like a bicycle, or with an 800-watt 36-volt electric motor. It will not weigh more than 30 kilograms, explains its designer. With his two large rear wheels of an American custom bike, his HappyRide does not go unnoticed in the streets of 553 bands. And will we be able to drive it soon? Or is it just a concept car, she asks for Stefan Qlio. The idea is to sell his invention to individuals, but above all to companies looking for alternative and ecological solutions for getting around. You can buy it assembled for €6,000, or as a kit to assemble yourself between €3,000 and €4,000. Music. The Schmitt reinvents the 1955 Massachusetts KR200 as a two-person e-velomobile, along with 1950s-60s contemporaries like the aesthetic three-wheeled Messerschmitt KR200 was one of the original micro cars. The car continues to have a following half a century later, so much so that a pair of designers have developed a unique tribute. The Veloschmitt is styled like the original bubble car, but relies on a pedelec bicycle platform in place of the two-stroke engine. Build. The Veloschmitt measures 112 x 47 x 43 in, with a carbon fiber chassis, connected to its three wheels by an air spring suspension system, a glass fiber body, and small windshield. Wrap the two seats inside 708. The build materials were selected to limit weight, keeping it down to approximately 132 pounds, with all electrical components hooked up and ready to fire. The car was structured to replicate the 1955 KR200 24-hour speed record edition 0.3 drag coefficient. It's capable of speeds up to 18.6 miles per hour. They claim it is the world's first two-seat velomobile built in series production and plan to build 200 models. Prices start at €5,200, a 7,200 for single-seater, and €6,250 for the two-seater. Hans Erik Persson built a Nephew, an offshoot of Fantom, which he has built and motorized with two dicky seats for his children. The earliest velomobiles, such as the 1940s Swedish Fantom, were never sold as a finished product, but rather as a set of instructions, so you could build your own. Originally built with wooden frames, they were intended as a way to keep the worst of the weather off the cyclist. A Swedish man who's built his own Fantom with a few modifications, including an electric motor to assist with power output. Velomobile shells also keep rain, sun, and 821 wind off you, meaning you can turn up to work as neat as when you left the house. Music. The Cyco Rod, a rat rod velomobile. The creator of this funny velomobile tells for years, "Have been wanting to build a three-wheeler at one point. I even offered a course in school to build one, but failed, and now finally, I have at least partially succeeded in creating my pure fun lockdown distraction concept of a rat rod style human power." Music.